Eastern Illinois head coach Adam Cushing. The Panthers had their second open day of the season last week. They're going to conclude the year. They're going to host Murray State, who is coming off a pair of wins. That'll be Saturday afternoon at O'Brien Field. So, Coach, just some thoughts on your team, and then we'll go to questions.
Yeah, obviously strange to have a second bye week, and especially this late in the year. And, again, just, full transparency with where our season's at. Nobody's happy with what we've done throughout the year, but it was, we took it as an advantage, and truly just really to enjoy the time with these seniors that we have left with them, with this football family. We got a great group of young men that are going to get their last opportunity to play at O'Brien. I always think it's special. You get it every other year, but I always think it's special when you play that last game of the season at home. And so, that's what our focus has been, is just enjoying this thing. And, again, we haven't had the season we'd like. That's the honest truth and obvious to everybody, but we got an opportunity to have a different taste in our mouth after Saturday. And I've been really, really proud of the way the guys came to work this past week. Easy, again, if we're just being honest, it's really easy to say, no, we're good. Right. But these young men just keep on battling. And that's what I love about them. That's why I love these young men. And why I tell them all the time, I'm just, I dread the end of the season for this reason. I don't get to spend time with them all the time, and so, but looking forward to a heck of a challenge. Obviously, Dean's done a great job. They've got it going down there right now, and have just played better and better throughout the season. So it's a heck of a challenge coming in here.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to questions. Dan, go ahead. You can start with as many as you have.
Very unusual to be playing a team a second time. Have you ever experienced that before?
Whew, that's a good question. No, I can't say. Obviously the amount of time that I spent at the previous place, you play the same staff over and over and over again, year after year after year, and so this is the third time playing this staff in this calendar year, right? Wow. With essentially their same team and our same team. So yeah, it's certainly unusual. They've obviously gotten our number a couple of times. First one was like a football game. Last one we didn't, we didn't really get going until late in the game offensively.
I know you've got this game left, but looking ahead to the off season and into next fall, what would you say are the biggest needs that you have going into that as far as the team goes?
Yeah. You're always gonna want to be better at all kinds of places, right? But obviously if you just look at it offensively is where we were not where we need to be in order to win football games. We're certainly not perfect on defense. There's things that need to improve, but our defense kept us in games. And so we've got to coach them better. We've got to, you always look to improve personnel, but I say all the time, this isn't the NFL. We're not drafting and we're not trading, right? We've got who we've got, and we've just got to coach them and get them better. And that's really what the focus is going to be: coach them, get them better, and then obviously recruit your tail off. That helps.
I got one more for you, and then let Kyle jump in. I know you're on the Oversight Committee. Is there any big topic that you guys are going to be talking about, or you're not really sure at this point?
Yeah, nothing. I'm sure you've seen the recent, the NCAA Constitution being, a new proposal there. There's been a lot of talk with that, right? Is just how that's all going to play out moving forward. And then it's all what I love about it is we're always looking for ways to improve the game in every aspect, right? It's some people what do you guys do? It's truly evaluating everything that goes on with Division I football and seeing how we can make it the best it can possibly be for all parties involved, starting with the student athletes. And that's why I love being on the committee. I feel like we're really impacting change. And I think that we all see it, the realignment, the conference changes, all those things that are happening. I think the college football is going to have a lot of drastic changes here in the next few years. So just staying active and making sure that we've got a good direction. And I love having a coach voice on there so that somebody that's on the, the front line, so to speak, is telling what's actually happening.
All right, thank you.
You got it.
Dan, you already sort of answered this in Dan's question, but how do you kind of sum up playing 2 seasons in 2021 and just what's next with the, you have a winter, you'll have a spring, you'll have conditioning. You mentioned the mental part before with the players. Just what's next and how that, helps out to get back to, 1 season in 2022.
Yeah. I mean, sir, I'll tell you, I was the first one really excited about playing as much football in 2021 as humanly possible, right? I was vocal about it, and I have not changed that tune. I love the football part. I do, but the reality is without an off season, and it was different on everybody's campus, but there were times even when during the pandemic when we brought the young men back that we had to be really restricted with what we were doing with them, how much we could be inside, all those things. So just the ability to get to that full cycle of preparation. We still have a young football team relative to everybody else, that everybody gets the bonus year. We still have a young football team because everyone had guys come back. So just understanding what all of that takes in order to be successful in the big picture, right? You don't just get successful overnight. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a heck of a season. Jason did an unbelievable job, but he worked his tail off to get those young men, and he has a bunch of experienced guys that understand the process, and so I think it's just getting back to falling in love with that process, because we didn't have that off-season process to fall in love with. It's just getting the guys, the young men, understand how critical that is to success on the field.
Last question, and we'll let you go. You mentioned like seniors. How hard is it now with rosters? You don't know if people have an extra year of COVID, if they're going to use it, how you fill your roster with needs, the transfer portal. How does all that work? And considering, now we had the 2 years in one, so everything's a lot more fluid there. So how do you sort of handle that going forward?
Be flexible, right? Just improvise and overcome, right? Is kind of the way that you go at it. Is there's more roster turnover everywhere than there's ever been in the history of the game, and so it's just taking it as it comes. You can't get it's like football, right? You can't get too high, can't get too low. Just what actually happens, and then how do we respond to what happens, and then truly it's not going to ever change. We're looking for the right fit, the right young man that fits our culture, that wants to, as I just mentioned, wants to come in, fall in love with the process that's going to make him a great player. So there's lots of variables all over the place. If you just stay focused on the right fit, the right fit might come from a different source than it used to, right? But it's still all about the right fit.
Coach, again, thanks for your time all season long. Best luck to your team this weekend against Murray.
Appreciate everything, Kyle. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Adam.